Hiya guys, I'm just doing a video today on my experience with labour. I did a video about 2 weeks ago when I was 2 days overdue with my little boy, and it was just a video basically kind of almost like a venting video really, where I had a bit of a failed attempt earlier on that day at a sweep, and I was just feeling a bit low and a bit blue and very, very frustrated with the situation. And I tried everything to sort of speed up the process of labour. I tried sort of doing the whole conventional tricks to get labour going. Things like eating pineapple, drinking raspberry leaf tea. I had a yoga ball that I was bouncing on for weeks on end. Going for like long walks, having hot curries, all the sorts of different sort of tricks and things that you can try to sort of bring on your labour. Absolutely none of which worked. It really, really didn't. And it wasn't until I think I spoke to my midwife and we had arranged for me to have to be induced on the Saturday. And I think it was a case of tried everything I possibly could to get labour going and it just wasn't working. So I just kind of thought to myself, you know what, it's probably going to end up that I need to be induced. And if that happens, is it the worst thing in the world that's going to happen? No, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. As long as he's out and he's healthy and he's happy, then I can't really complain. So I kind of accepted that I was going to have to be induced. And I think that must have just chilled out my system. And because later on that evening when I went to bed, I woke up in the middle of the night having contractions. And I was just like, okay. And like the night before, me and my husband had kind of sat down and sort of planned out what we were going to do on the Saturday that I was due to be induced, because we thought, right, okay, well, we'll get up in the morning, we'll get the kids dressed, we'll get them packed up, ready to go down to my parents. My parents were going to be watching my older two whilst I was going to go into the hospital to be induced. So I thought, well, that already makes it 10 times easier because I knew exactly what was going to happen with them, where they were going and what time, and my parents were both going to be home. So it was just going to be a lot easier to deal with. So, yeah, we kind of discussed it all and planned it all out and thought, yep, that's what we're going to be doing now. Great. And I just thought to myself, you know what? Just whatever happens now happens. I'm going to be induced on Saturday. That's fine. And like I said, it must have been a case where because I chilled out and because I kind of made a plan, my body went, I think I might come on to labour now. So yeah, I went to bed on the Tuesday night into the sort of Wednesday early hours. I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, having a few contractions. But the problem was I'd had Braxton Hicks contractions from about 26 weeks onwards. I've been having Braxton Hicks, and quite noticeable Braxton Hicks as well. So, and they'd kind of gotten a lot stronger and a lot more consistent over the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks before this day. So when I woke up in the middle of the night, I just thought to myself, well, this is possibly more Braxton Hicks, so don't get too excited, don't wake up my husband at this time, try and relax, and they'll probably die off. That's what I sort of thought. So yeah, I just tried to sort of lie down and go back to sleep, but they kept coming. And it got to like 4 o'clock, I think, in the morning. So it'd been about an hour or so of me having these contractions that I thought to myself, oh, maybe they're actually proper contractions this time. So I was quite reluctant because my husband actually had work the next morning. So I was quite reluctant to wake him up if it wasn't going to be anything to sort of wake him up for. So initially I kind of thought to myself, if I just sort of suffer in silence for a little bit longer, if it carries on, then I will really wake him up then. So it probably went another 10 or 15 minutes, in which time I'd had 2 contractions. And they were quite intense as well. So I thought, oh, I actually need some support here anyway. So I woke my husband up, got him to hold my hand for me because I was in a lot of pain at this stage. So I was just like, hold my hand, help me time them, see if they're regular, see if they're lasting any sort of great times, and we'll go from there. So that's what we did. We probably laid in bed for about another hour, with him timing my contractions and holding my hand for me. And it got to the point then where we were both sort of like, yeah, no, they're regular now. They come in every few minutes and they're lasting a good minute at a time. So, and at this point, my 2 children were both in bed, fast asleep. It was like sort of 6:30 in the morning. So yeah, we thought, right, okay, well, we better get up and get to the hospital. I rung the labour ward. Had a little bit of a chat on the phone with them whilst, again, having another couple contractions whilst on the phone. And they were like, yeah, this sounds like you're in labour. Let's get you in. Let's get you checked over. So we were like, right, okay, all systems go. So we got the kids up, got them dressed, told them that mummy was probably going to have the baby. And my little girl was so excited. I rung my mum, who, again, also was supposed to be in work that morning. So I rang my mum and I was like, Mum, what do I do? I'm pretty sure I'm in labour. I'm going to head towards the hospital. So she said, just head towards the hospital. I'll meet you there. I'll take the kids and I'll just tell work what's going on. So that was that situation. So we got the kids all packed up, ready to go. We got the car all packed up with all my hospital bag and everything that I needed. And we hightailed it down to towards the hospital, which was like the longest car journey I've ever taken in my life. It felt like it lasted days because I was in so much pain. And like I said, the contractions really, really come in at this point as well. And they were really quite intense. So we drove down to the hospital. When we got there, my mother was there waiting. So we dropped the kids off with her. She took them and left, wished us good luck along the way. And then we went into the hospital. And I was actually, like I said, again, it was just, the pain was really quite intense already at this point. So I was like walking into the reception part of the labour ward and I was like doubled over in pain and I actually couldn't walk. So they ended up having to get me a wheelchair, which was like the first time I've ever been in a wheelchair. So I was like, is that my wheelchair having like a proper contraction, like proper crying to myself, thinking, oh my God, this is really, really painful. Wheeled me into the delivery room. And yeah, I went into proper labour. So I think, like I said, it was from about 4 o'clock in the morning that I actually started having contractions. So at 7:30 when I got to the hospital and they checked me over and I was about 6 centimetres dilated, I think it was. Much to my disgust, I was absolutely disgusted that I was only 6 centimetres. I was like, no, I gotta be more than 6. I can't do it if it's gonna be just 6. To which my little boy was then actually born at 10 that morning. So it was pretty quick labour, really speaking. I could have been a lot longer. And I think active labour, I think like where I was pushing and all that business, I think was only about 2 hours, I think, from what my husband was telling me. Definitely the worst labour in the sense of my other 2 children that I'd had. It wasn't a case of like I had any complications or anything, but pain level wise, I don't remember it being that bad on my first 2 as it was on my little boy now. He was actually back to back in the end, which I was told is like a horrendous experience in itself. So that was quite fun. But he'd also come out of me with his hand like that over his face. So when his head was born, they had a hand there as well. But of course, because he was like this with his elbow sticking out, he kind of got a bit stuck. So they were just about to they actually did end up calling a load of other extra midwives and doctors and stuff in case I needed to have like a forceps delivery, because I was pushing and he just wasn't coming because his arm was stuck. And they kept saying to me, his arm's stuck. But of course, I'm in the midst of gas and air and labour and everything. And I didn't quite click that everyone else had kind of rushed into the room. But even still, at that point, they kept saying to me, he's stuck. And I kept thinking, no way is this baby getting stuck. I'm getting him out. So I just remember actually getting onto my hands and knees. How I managed to do that delivery, I'll never know, because I couldn't move for the first half of it. So moving nearly towards the end, I have no idea how I managed to do that. But no, apparently I got onto my hands and knees and I just gave it my all and pushed for Britain. And yes, he came out all by himself. So all the other midwives and doctors left the room and like, okay, you got this, we'll go. And yeah, so he was born then at 10 in the morning on the Wednesday. And like I said, I was due to go and have my induction on the Saturday. So it was a few days earlier than I'd kind of accepted. So I was more than happy with that. And yeah, my beautiful baby boy was £8 2 ounces. And he's just absolutely perfect. And I can go get him for you in a minute. He's sound asleep at the moment. over by there. But he's due a feed any minute now, so I'll get him to show you in a moment. But yeah, like I said, as far as labours go, it was quite a quick labour. It wasn't any complications. I didn't end up having any tears or anything along those lines. I didn't need to have the forceps, which I kind of thought for a split second that I was going to end up having. But yeah, no, I didn't have to have any of that, thankfully. So yeah, I was really, really chuffed with it. And then at the end of my labour and stuff, I went and had a shower and sort of felt a bit more human, got back in with my little boy. My husband was actually bathing and dressing my little boy when I come back out of the shower, and he was all dressed in white and he just looked absolutely perfect and angelic, and yeah, could not be happy. And he's been so good as well. He's nearly 2 weeks old now, and he's just been absolutely perfect. He's just an absolute diamond. He sleeps really, really well and feeds really well. We had one wobbly night where he just wouldn't take a feed and he kept getting really windy and stuff, but so we were up for a good few hours with him in the middle of the night there. But yeah, other than that, he's been an absolute dream and I couldn't be happier with him. And my other two absolutely adore him and think he's the best thing in the whole wide world right now. And my 4-year-old little boy, oh, he's so funny. He just will not leave his side. He thinks the whole world revolves around his little brother at the minute. So yeah, let me go and get him for you. 1 second. Oh, here we are. Ignore my Hoover in the background. But yeah, this is my beautiful little boy. He's fast asleep at the minute. You can see his old hands. Here he is. So yeah. But yeah, so I hope that you enjoyed my video and my experiences with my labour. And hopefully, if any mums are due to go into labour themselves in, you know, the next coming weeks and stuff, I hope that it gives you a bit of a glimmer of hope that, you know, it's not all terrible. Ooh, there's a little burpee there. It's not all terrible. Like I say, it was a pretty easy going labour as far as labours go. But yeah, thank you very much for watching my video, and if you want to see more videos from me and about my parental experiences, just pop a like and a comment on here, and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully we'll be seeing more videos soon. Thank you. Bye bye.